Karl, thanks for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me and letting me show people what we're doing.
Well, let's just get right into it. You're the developer for Become Nosara, and Become Nosara is a pretty big project, and it's right at the entrance as you come into town, so everyone sees it. And quite frankly, Karl, everyone's scared and nervous. Nosara's had a wild streak of growth, development. People are concerned we're going to lose the charm for the area. Anytime there's construction of that magnitude, obviously, it's alarming. So I'm not trying to start on a negative note. I just want to address right away what's going on. So thank you for coming on and being willing to do that. That means something to me. So I appreciate that. And people respect that you're communicating and you want to get involved. So let's get on with it, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'm Costa Rican. I'm a civil engineer. I own a construction company. And I would like people to know that that my grandfather had a ranch in Sámara since 1950. So I've been going there before everybody. There was no roads, there were no roads, and my father owned a Cessna plane, and we used to land on the beach. So I know the area. I know what it means. I know I'm in love with all that part of the peninsula, since from Montezuma and Santa Teresa all the way up to Guiones. Is my favorite part of the country. So I know it very well, and I'm not intending to destroy anything. In fact, I'm trying to do everything to look like great and not disturbing a lot of the natural and the magic of Nosara.
Okay, so with that being said, if I can interrupt, I'll go straight into, I'm going to read a couple of things that people have said, and people I'm friends with, people I know are some of them, but this might sting a little bit. Here's what's being said, and then I want to give the opportunity to address it. So that project came to destroy Nosara. Next, it's a mess. The road construction exemplifies how little they care about the community. Next, they illegally took away the ASADA's well, and there's no water for the school, only 60 luxury condos. All real estate developers and agents care about is money. They have destroyed land and water rights, nature, roads, creating dangerous conditions. I've never hated a building so much. That's pretty heavy. The lights are a total hazard. Who's the developer? They have the balls to call this Become Nosara, just 666, more like destroy Nosara. All developers and real estate, it just goes on and on of the same vernacular. I wanted to invite you on this platform to give you a chance to address this yourself and speak from your heart. This is your episode. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, well, that was a lot of information. Let's see where I start. First of all, I bought that piece of land. It used to be a cattle farm. So somebody cut all the trees and had cattle in that land. So when I got the land, the majority of the trees are guasimos, which is those trees that grow on shit manure, on cow manure. So there was nothing of value in that land. First of all, there were two hills that I needed to flat and make a terrace to build the building. So we went through a lot of permitting and studies. I had to do an archaeological study to see if there were any Indian burials there. I did a hydrogeological study to see how the runoff of the water was going to go into was going to get out of the project. Then I needed to discharge that water into the river right in front. So I had to do an hydraulic study of the river to see if I don't influence any construction downstream from the river. So also I hired a forest engineer, and that got me the permits to cut those guasimos, because there's no value on those. In exchange, we're planting, not now because it's summer and it's going to start raining, but in the next month, we're planting about 200 trees along that property. So we are reforesting. Excuse my English if I make some mistakes, but we're reforesting the area, and the project is not right on the street. Is about 100 and something meters on the back of the property. So even though there's 3 buildings, there's 3-story buildings and 54 units, those are they're not going to be right next to the road. So it's not invading the view when you come in. In the front of the property, we're working in another project. It's going to be super nice. I think people are going to be super excited about it because it's all Nosara-Style. So it's all branches, like palm trees and trees everywhere. So it's going to be really, really, really nice. It's going to be a destination place. And well, you address a lot of things. The farm, the property, the entire property, the owner drilled a well I don't know how many years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. So he went through the hassle to go to get the permits. And I went to the hassle to get the concession to use that water for the property. I didn't take any well from any ASADA. There was a well in front of the property that the owner of the property gave it to the ASADA. The ASADA didn't do anything with that well and lost the well because it collapsed. So it's gone. The well is gone because they didn't use it. They didn't get the permits. So when I found out about that, I'm working with the board of directors of the ASADA because they already have another well, and it's been taking like a year and a half to get the permit from the water company, AYA, to get connected. But now they got the permit to connect it, but they didn't do the permitting from MINAI to get their concession from MINAI. So I'm working with them. I'm helping them to get that well connected to the ASADA because they haven't done. Being Costa Rican, I know, and being working in this for 33 years, I know we have to go through a lot of permitting, and these guys maybe were not very guided on how to do it. So I'm helping them.
So it's safe to say you're not stealing from any schools or from the community. Are those accusations that were said are completely false? That's what you're saying? Yes,
the well that was donated to the ASADA was lost because they didn't use it. And I'm using another well that was drilled with permitting, and I have the concession from the MINAI. So I'm very, also I'm being told, that you didn't say it, but I'm being told that I'm building 300 septic tanks there. I'm going to say
talk us through that. Let's just talk us through that was going to be one of my next questions. So go ahead and let's jump straight into that. Tell us what you're doing and to set up and explain. I'm sorry, I'm chuckling a little bit. This is kind of how Nosara works. You might be doing this and people say you're doing that. And that's why we have this podcast, is so you have a chance to address it.
Okay. I'm not doing septic tanks. This is a serious project, and I'm doing a wastewater treatment plant. So we're building a wastewater treatment plant. The water that we're going to discharge from there is going to be used to irrigate those 200 trees that we're planting. So we're giving back the water, treating the water, and giving back to the soil. So we're not taking everything out of the land. We're giving back the trees. We're giving back the water that we're taking. So I think is the best way to do it. And also we have roads, we have gutters, we have sidewalks, and we have stormwater system, something that there's nothing in Nosara. So when you go there in the rainy season, you're gonna pass through some really huge pools to get from one side to the other side of the town. So now we have a stormwater system. It's not gonna get flooded. It's gonna have parking space. So I'm improving, and everything is gonna be looking great with a lot of trees that I'm planting back on the land. So I invite everybody to come, and I'll be there and clarify any questions that you have. So
okay, that was one of my questions as well. So you're open to people conversing with you or contacting you. We can put your email up to where people could reach out to you, and you'll address their questions one-to-one as opposed to online banter.
Yes, I'll do that under one condition: respect. Because I've been told a lot of things that I'm not, and I think I could talk with anybody that will listen and will understand and will have respect on the way we communicate.
That's a fair condition, and quite frankly, that's what the town needs to do. That's actually a big impetus for this podcast. Is for so many years I've watched so much misinformation fly around, and I want to give people a chance to speak for themselves and go directly to the source. So that's what we're doing right now. And again, thank you for doing this. I realize you've heard some unpleasant things and are addressing some stuff, but the reality is the people who are saying it, they just care about Nosara, and we're all scared. We're all scared.
I do care about Nosara. I love that place. I'm thinking I'm doing a project. It's not a real estate project. It's something different. This is something that
explain that, please.
Yes, Become is a project that it was my idea during the pandemic, because I was reading what was going to happen with the people after pandemic and how they were going to work. So I teamed up with my two daughters. My oldest daughter she's an expert in branding, and she lives in Nosara. Well, she lives in Garza in a container. And my youngest daughter is an architect. So we team up together to think about a project in which you can enjoy and have the experience of living in Nosara and in Costa Rica, but at the same time have a place to work. So there's a work center there that is not only for the use of the owners of the apartments, but it's open to the public. It's going to be open to the public for a fee for a day, and this is thinking about people that wanted to change the way of living, because what happened during the pandemic is that people changed their goals, their life goals. You know, before that I thought of being 70 years old to go to the beach and live in Nosara, but now I can go there and enjoy and go. Well, I would like to learn how to surf. And have yoga classes and everything in the morning. I can work whole day in the work center, and then I can have a beer and look at the sunset. So this is something like brings balance to life, where you can have surf, yoga, sand, beach, sun, and work and responsibility. So
I heard family project though too. It sounds like what you're describing is not excuse is the wrong word. This is a fun project where you get to interact with your daughters and they get to take a leadership role. That's kind of what I heard there. Is that accurate?
Yeah. My oldest is 26 and my youngest is 24, and we team up together to do it. We work for a year and a half. So we worked for a year and a half designing the project with a lot of care and thinking about people and thinking about and that's where the name came from, because
Yeah,
it's
explain the
become,
name to us. That was my next question. Can you tell us where that came from and
well,
just why Become Nosara?
Vivian, my daughter, came up with the name because it's like start being something else, start moving in your life, so it's become somebody else. So become a better person, become a healthier person, and start living and have the opportunity to live in Costa Rica. My idea and my dream is that this has become Nosara. My dream is to someday become Santa Teresa, and the people who buys in Become Nosara, they have the chance to swap it for another place that I built, so they have the same
I
experience.
see. So this is a concept of multiple locations where people can possibly adjust and interact.
Maybe if people, well, I've sold almost 50% of the apartments, and I love the people that have bought. They're very into having the experience of living there, and they're very like healthy, and they're like enjoy being in Costa Rica. It's not a business thing, it's more a way of living thing. It's
Who are
not.
if you don't mind describing, what type of people are buying? Is it just foreigners, or is it Ticos, or who's this for?
I think
Or
90.
is there a particular demographic you're targeting? Maybe that was a better question. Like, are you aiming just for tourists because Nosara is now popular and you want to price it real high and get after it? Or
okay, somebody could buy it to do business with it and rent it. I'm not permitting daily rents. I am not permitting that. I want the minimum rents is 1 week, because I like people to stay there and enjoy and have the experience of living in Nosara. So first of all,
so weekly rentals is the minimum when it comes to a vacation rental perspective, and they could do long-term rentals, I'm assuming, as well.
I don't want a lot of ticos coming there for the weekend and fill it up with people. I like people to stay there and enjoy the place. So and I think 90% of the people who have bought are Americans and Canadians that have been in Nosara several times and have come to our project and talked to me, and there's this Canadian couple that said, well, I like the project very much, but I don't like the way you treat your workers. And I go, why? I was like, I thought, I heard that they live in very bad conditions. And I was like, let me take you to the campsite. And she went in, saw how I set up all the camp for the workers, and I feed them very well to be very healthy. And she bought the apartment because she saw that everything was clean, and invite anybody to come and see, how we treat our workers. We last week we had a party because there were no accidents. So we make, we care about safety a lot. And we have a lot of programs like recycling programs, and I'm getting into another subject, but
it's okay. I think people might want to hear this because, again, the comments, people say such things. I mean, so much is illegal, and so people are mistreated, and you only care about money. I think it's good for people to hear where you're coming from. I appreciate you coming on and facing this. What's frustrating around Nosara is when we don't communicate, when we don't talk. Like, it's very kind of reminds me of a high school in some ways. Like, certain cliques hang out with their people. And again, that's a big part of the podcast, is I'm trying to bring communication to the forefront. The social scientists who have come through all say developers, environmentalists, everybody in Nosara seems to kind of want the same thing. They want a special place. They want access to the beach. They want everyone to be able to be involved. But what we currently do is we kind of lock up. So a developer who doesn't communicate just get spread away from the community. And also inside the community, if we just talk and say these things, sometimes the developer will just step away and not communicate. And now there's these two islands. So again, I can't say it enough. Thanks for coming on the podcast to address this. This means a lot to us, and it's a fine example for other people that I hope other people will follow too. I'm not saying this is going to take away all the talk in Nosara. Nothing will do that. But this will help some people. And if they have access to you directly, again, with the number one rule that they have to have respect in their communications, I really appreciate it. And I hope other people do too.
Before I get into what we're doing, I forgot to say that there's a gutter that crosses the road into the river, and I wanted to use that one so I cannot, so I don't have to cut the roads. But the Minister of Transportation didn't want me to do that. They wanted me to cut the road and go down the road into the river. And I fought with these people for a long time, and there was no way. So I had to cut the road, but it's already fixed. I think we did a fair job fixing the road. So that's why we had to cut the road. And
I appreciate you bringing that up. One of the quotes that came in was, how they treated the road exemplifies how little they care for the community. And what you're saying is that wasn't your decision at all. You tried something different. You were ordered to do that. Is that what I heard? I
hate when they pave a road and they cut it, and I hate that. So there's a gutter going through the road. The MOP, the Minister of Transportation, they didn't want me to use it. There's no reasoning with these people, so I had to do it. And
I appreciate you bringing that up. And then there's some concerns about lights in the area. Is that a temporary thing, or is that?
I took off the lights because when you have the road in a bad condition, you have to put the lights, even if you get how you say, blinded.
Mm-hmm.
Because
no, you're right. Yeah, that's fine.
Because of safety. You have to slow down and you have to pass by very slow. If you go to the Guanacaste construction, you're going to see a lot of those lights on the road. Now that we fixed the road, the lights are gone. So there's not going to be lights there.
All right. So you were taking heat for the road, and you're saying that wasn't your decision, and the lights and your intention with the lights were for safety because of the road that you didn't have to do, or you didn't want to do, they made you do.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, correct. And going back to the subject, we started doing, well, first of all, Elika, my company, is very into, well, we are carbon neutral, and we are ISO, I think it's 14,000, which is about the environment. And that make us take care of all our disposal. So when you're building something, there's a lot of trash that you generate. And we have to separate those trash into wood, steel, plastics, and hazardous materials. So we dispose these materials like we have to. And on the plastics, we're doing something new, and that's that we're taking all our plastics, and even if people have seen, but I've sent my crews to the beach to clean up the beach from plastics and collecting plastics from the beach, because we're taking all those plastics to another company called Pedregal, where they build pavers. And they have a special machine where you can shred all that plastic and add a percentage of plastic to those pavers. So we're disposing the plastics into the pavers and the blocks, the concrete blocks. So there's still concrete, but it has a percentage of plastics, and we're disposing those plastics there. But being
Interesting.
but being Costa Rica, let me turn these lights on. Being Costa Rica, because we're in Costa Rica, we cannot take the trash from one province to another province, and it's for me. I have to take the plastics. I have to take them to Nicoya, to the municipality, and they will say, well, yes, I want to use these or not, and they separate the trash. It takes forever, and then when they don't want anything, what they don't want, I can take it to San Jose and process those plastics into the concrete pavers. So it's
well, thank you for doing that. That's a cool concept. A lot of areas around town need pavement, obviously, are pavers. So you're saying that we could collect the plastic and utilize that inside of it, and that's something you guys are already doing. And if I heard you right, you're saying you're collecting plastic from around town and going to the beach and whatnot. Did I hear that?
No, I'm collecting plastic from the beach. So
right.
I have
that's
a crew that goes walks along the beach and collect the plastics. And those plastics I get with my plastics from the trash on the construction. I have to take them to Nicoya and then to San Jose.
Well, that's pretty cool. Geez. So what else would you like to get out there? What other angles should we address while you have this platform? It sounds like you're saying from drainage, from road, from lights, from safety, from working conditions, from trees, water, the whole thing. You're saying nothing's illegal, everything's above board. You're paying careful attention to this place. Is what I'm hearing. Please feel free to use this platform to get out whatever other message or anything that you'd like, or we could just go ahead and transition into the project itself.
I would like to thank you to give me this opportunity. I just want to say that say it again that I've been going to that area since I was born, literally. And when I was 6 months old, my parents took me to Sámara, Carrillo, and Nosara. And I grew up going every vacation to that area. Second of all, we are really, Elika is my company. I've been working here for 33 years. We are really serious about responsible development and social responsibility. So we're doing everything legal. We I've been working for in the project for a year and a half in design and another year getting permits. So 2.5 years I waited to start the project to be totally legal and do everything right. So we are really responsible on the development. Also, I'm trying to contact with no luck the Esperanza Asociación de Desarrollo de Esperanza, because I want to help that football field, soccer field that is next to us. I want to fix the bleachers and the restrooms there and the locker rooms. I want to paint everything. I want to fix all those things. The roof is terrible and the roads around that. But I've sent them emails and everything to start working there, but with no luck. Also, we're getting a little bit involved, beginning to get involved with the school right in front of us to see if we could help with some materials that the children need or something else. I heard about some music instruments or something like that we might help with.
Yeah, right on. Well, thank you for that. That's fantastic. So, all right. So you want to get inside the community and the surrounding area. Thanks for coming on the podcast and present yourself. Now, the one thing we haven't talked about yet is tell us the description of the project itself, size, units. Just give us the general overview of that.
It's three buildings, 3-story buildings, 18 units in each. That's 54 total. and it has a swimming pool, a large swimming pool, and a large working center. Also, it's going to have a couple of meeting rooms, so anybody who could need meet with some people or everything, that will have a place to do it. And also, we're going to have a little back of house building. It's going to have a maintenance shop and a housekeeping area for those who need, cleaning, or for those owners that wants to rent them and do the turns around. So we could do the turnaround and clean the apartment and help them with the maintenance. Because I own a house in Carrillo, and that's the way it works. When I leave, I just leave a note saying that the air conditioning doesn't work or something is leaking, and when I come back, everything is fixed. And that's the way I want to do it there.
Okay, so one-stop operation is available for the owners there.
Yeah, and so that's it. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to build two pickleball courts on the common areas of the farm, because where the well is, there's a protected area. Well, maybe people don't know that, but
no, talk about that a little bit. People are so concerned; they just think it's destruction, and I don't even think people understand what you mentioned about the Guasimos earlier. So please, fill us in.
Well, the well is located in the backside of the property, and 40 meters around, I cannot touch. I cannot build anything. So it's a protected area. So we need to. There's going to be old trees and a green area there, and that's maybe where just outside those 40 meters, I might build those pickleball courts. And I already talked. We are next door with 506 project, and we touch on the back. So we're building some stairs to come back down to 506 for those who wants to play tennis there.
So it's right back by the tennis court area.
Yeah. And so that's that protected area. It's around 4,000, 5,000 meters. And that's where I'm planting a lot of the trees. Also along the roads, I'm planting a lot of the trees. So that's where I want to pump back the effluent of the wastewater treatment plant into that area, so we could irrigate those trees. And the trees I'm planting there, I don't want to do a Miami style project. I want to do a very local. So I'm not planting palm trees. I'm planting local
indigenous
trees.
style.
Yes. So I'm being helped by a forest engineer and another lady that's helping to rebuild all the landscaping with a lot of trees and green areas. So it's gonna be patient. Is gonna look really, really good. So even though it's a large size project, we've been taking care of a lot of things. There's no way I cannot impact the area, but I think, very interesting. After that land was a cattle farm, somebody stole material from there because the soil is really good to build roads. So somebody stole material from there and destroyed all the land in the back. You couldn't see it from the front, but all the back of the property was exploded to get the material out, and I bet the roads were built with that material. So this is a long time ago. So it was impacted very, very bad. So I could say right now that we're improving the land. We're improving the land, even though we're impacting with the buildings, we're doing improvements on the land.
Still very scared of you, but have much more respect after hearing you out. And again, thank you for the information. Thank you for communicating.
And you're welcome. Anybody that wants to get, go to the project, anybody that would like to talk to me directly or write directly, if they use the proper language, because I've been told a lot of things, believe me, if they use the proper language and we could understand and we could have a conversation and I could explain whatever they want.
Okay. All right. So for concerned citizens, they can speak with you directly. Well, they can listen to this and then contact you directly, as long as it's with respect. For people who are interested in buying, Brian Bombard is the listing agent, if I understand right. So they can contact him or talk to whatever their preferred local realtor is, and they can communicate with Brian. What else should we cover? Or have you covered what you wanted to?
Well, I mentioned a little bit that in the front of the project, Become is in the back of the property. So
tell us about the front if you're willing. We'd love to hear it.
Well, I don't know. Well, I'm building. I'm starting to design a destination place, a place where we could have some restaurants, little restaurants with some boutiques, maybe banks or real estate.
I see what you're saying. So commercial front, commercial in the front.
Yeah, but build Nosara style. I want to build it like really wood, palm roofs. We're building the Ritz-Carlton in Papagayo, and we're putting some wood shingles that I didn't know existed. So we're using some wood shingles. They're going to look great, and I'm very, very excited about that because it's going to be like really, Guanacaste. I'm not going to say Nosara, but it's not going to be like a place that like you stop and go. It's going to be a place where Rich wants to go to have a pizza or a beer. There are going to be a couple of rooftops so you could see people getting in and out. And it's going to have a patio with trees, and light. A patio like if you've gone to La Luna, like the one is in front of the Luna, and I think it's going to be great. And the buildings are not going to be seen from the road; they're going to be really on the back, so that will help. So you don't feel like you're invading with those buildings.
Actually, you brought up something people had mentioned. So as far as quality of construction, you say you've been doing this for 33 years, and you're educated. What's your background in your education?
I went to Purdue, Indiana, Purdue University. I got 2 degrees, one in civil engineering and one in construction management, and I worked in Atlanta for like about a year, and then I came here.
All right, so 33 years here, experience and education, 2 degrees up in the States, and what you're saying is this project should leave the land better off once it's all done, after your unavoidable impact is done. Did I hear you say that right?
Yeah, well, I think because somebody cut all the trees and put a cattle farm, and then somebody invaded the property and got a lot of soil out of there with no permits and anything. So right now, even though we cut those trees and even though we flattened the land, we're planting back a lot of trees that should be there or were there a long time ago in the 1950s. So
on your first trip and the plane that landed on the beach, you're bringing it back to that, huh?
Yeah. It's was totally different. There was no power, no water, no nothing. So
back to quality though, you have the experience, and you're saying, Elika, did you say you're working on the Ritz-Carlton at Papagayo? That's you guys?
Yes, we're building the Ritz-Carlton plus 37 residences. It's $108 million project. And
So for the people online who are saying the construction's very bad, it sounds like you have a pretty solid resume to stand up to that claim. Is that, I don't know the right words to say here, but it sounds that's like almost laughable at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's way of doing projects, and this project where a lot of professionals were involved, structural engineers, mechanical, electrical engineers, architects, interior designers, so pool designers. So there's not just me doing the project. I hired a bunch of people because I live by I always think that you should be always surrounded by people better than you. So I surrounded with very good teams, and I direct these teams to build things. So the design is it doesn't have any blocks. Everything is solid concrete, and the foundations are mat foundations and very solid. This is the structural design is seismic proofed, and the electrical mechanical are first class design. So I invite.
Is it okay if we put up pictures? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is it okay if we put up some of the pictures throughout this episode so people can see what we're talking about? Is it all right if we include that?
Whatever you like. I have well, I don't know if you have pictures of the construction, but I could send you somewhere. So
yeah, for sure. Because some people listening to this, they don't even know what we're talking about. And then we're going to get to this high season, and I imagine, well, you'll probably be a lot further along come November, December than we are right now. So we could give people a glimpse of what's happening.
Yeah, I forgot to say the project is going to be done by November. So
that's a pretty big deal. Gee whiz, that's actually really good timing for you. Like that works out.
I'm hoping that people that have bought till now can enjoy it for high season. So I think everything is.
It'll be here before we know it. It'll be here. It's going to happen. It always sneaks up on us.
Yeah, there's a lot of really, our team is really professional, all day with a lot of experience. So I don't know where those comments from the quality of the construction come from. So, but well, more than welcome. This is super. I mean, you can get into Elika's website. We have built my dad was my boss. He died 9 years ago, and he was my boss, and he built a lot of the most important buildings in San Jose, including the Children's Hospital and a lot of hospitals, including the San Jose Airport. We built all the San Jose Airport. We built convention centers. We built a lot of factories and hospitals and hotels, and so we built a lot. So and you should get into our website and get to know us. And
I think I will. I've learned a lot through the conversation. I hope other people do too. I'm still scared, obviously. Everyone, it's right to be scared. That means you care. I think the next step of it is communicating and find out who are we scared of and what you don't sound as scary after hearing you as you did before we started talking. So I hope that carries over, but there's definitely going to be people who will benefit from speaking with you directly. So again, that's very honorable, and that's the right way to do things. And hearing about your background and that you're confident the land will actually be better. Well, that's kind of inspirational in a way, because Nosara is one of the few spots where tourism actually brought nature back. Off the failed golf course project, everything was a cattle field, just like you described this land. And it's one of the few places on earth people coming to it, the people protected it. And now what we're all worried about is that it's getting so filled in that those days are over, and now it's eradicating. And it's very easy to be negative, and it's very hard to do the extra step of looking into people and getting to know them. It's very easy just to talk. So again, thanks for doing what you're doing. I hope the communications continue, and I hope you can pull off what you're saying, Karl, because that would be a nice refreshment compared to what people may be thinking right now.
Yeah, I invite you again to visit our project. Even if you have no intention of buying, I will take the time to explain whatever they want.
Hey, that's an idea, Karl. Maybe as we get closer to November, as we're getting closer, maybe we go walk through that together. We'll walk through it with the camera, and you can point at it. How about that?
Yeah.
You can see proof.
Yeah, or if you have a group of people, you can bring a group of people, and I'll show you around.
We will. I'm saying as we get closer, maybe beginning of November, if you still have units available, we'll walk through and do a follow-up episode to this, like with the camera and you describing it.
We haven't started planting trees because up till now it's starting raining, so
it's almost time.
Yeah, it's almost time. I want to wait because June there's no rain, so it's going to start raining in July again. So I'm planting all trees in July. So
okay. Anything else you want to hit while you have this platform?
No, just thanking you again for having me here and give me the opportunity to talk to you and explain some things. And you might be surprised, how we're doing things, and I can't, what people talk about. So,
yeah, I can't control that either, and I can't force anyone to watch this, but I hope they will.
All right, very good.
Thank you for your time, sir, and best of luck. And I hope what your forecasting comes to fruition. That would be a real nice blessing for all of us compared to the alternative. So thank you.
Thanks to you.